Chiefs fall to the Los Angeles Chargers in Brazil 27-21 to kick off the 2025 season. Kent Swanson here with Maddie Lane on the KCSN postgame show. Maddie, congratulations on staying up for that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, the game went, it went quick enough. Not a lot of defense was being played by either side. So the clock was running a lot. And so, yeah, it went relatively quick. And here we are. Back-to-back losses for the Chiefs now. Back-to-back post games of real games that matter. The Chiefs lost. That's not something we're used to doing here, Ken.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often. It only happened one time all season last year for the starters. This is tying last year's record for losses from the starters last season. This has been a very frustrating game for a lot of different reasons. I don't even know where to start. I mean, like so many things happen both sides of the ball in this game. The frustrations and the concerns on the defense are real. The loss of Xavier Worthy was felt immediately, and it took the offense about 3 possessions to figure it out, and then Patrick Mahomes just decided to go start doing Patrick Mahomes thing and make this game interesting. A lot of things on both sides of the ball to address in this game. A lot of things that are frustrating to watch. What was the thing that frustrated you the most today, Matthew?
Oh boy, the most. I think just having veterans of the sport make some very questionable decisions. I think the Chiefs played themselves back into this game after a very terrible first half. And then as you keep going, I mean, it didn't end up ultimately mattering, but Bucker missing an extra point wasn't great. And, we know he's a great kicker, as he proved in this game. Andy Reid's one of the best head coaches of all time, and we're calling 3rd and goal, down 10, goal line fades to wide receiver 8 on the depth chart. Like, that was an insane decision. The combination of Spags and Chris Jones, and I'm sure we'll talk about the specific play at the end of the game, but like Chris Jones being in that position and then the decision that he makes to rush to the inside on that particular play to lose contain, like it just felt like as this game went along, something we talked about all last year where the Chiefs weren't getting lucky to win close games. They were just executing better. They were being the better team in the biggest moments. And I honestly thought some of the players and coaches that have been part of that have consistently outplayed their opponents in the biggest moments. Not all of them did in this game. And some of them, I think, actually kind of directly made some pretty questionable decisions that led to them not being able to complete a comeback.
Yeah, there was mistakes from some of the key players in this game, right? Like I think there's, and I think coaching too. Like I think some of the coaching decisions weren't great either in this game. Like you talked about, you talked about Brownlee, throwing a fade to Brownlee on your key down, your 3rd and goal. And like, hey, look, that doesn't matter because Justin Herbert runs for 19 to close the game out. But just like so many little things in this game to be frustrated over. And I think offensively, like this team was out of sorts a little bit early because they were trying to make up for the loss of Xavier Worthy. There were so many plays that you watched and Hollywood Brown was getting dialed up for some plays that looked clunky and weren't as effective. It's because I think they were trying to shoehorn Hollywood Brown into that role. Like they try the little drag route in the red zone to him that goes for absolutely nothing. The timing is off. He trips over himself a little bit. They try a now route screen out to him in space, which those were plays that I think go to Xavier Worthy in a normal setting. So they're scrambling and they're trying to figure some things out to do there. Just as they're, and like I think some of the issues lining up correctly. Like just lining up correctly was, I think an issue for this team too. And probably that was a part of Xavier Worthy's absence here, right? Like having to shuffle guys around and move them in and out. I mean, Andy Reid talked about liking to have all of his receivers know different positions and all that, but it still doesn't mean that there's a ton of experience at all of them, right? You want to be able to do it to some degree, but these were probably not the positions the entire time that they were lined up in. So just a disheveled offensive performance for a long stretch. Then still Patrick Mahomes takes over. You see that on the offensive side of the ball there, and it just took them way too long to get going. And I think they paid the price for that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you kind of let it off there too. I think Hollywood Brown like did an admirable job of trying to take over as this team's wide receiver one. The Chargers weren't going to let Travis Kelce completely take over this game, and we don't even know if he's going to be capable of that, anymore at this point in his career. We haven't seen it for a couple seasons now, so like you don't even know. But they weren't going to let him, so it did fall a lot onto Hollywood Brown's plate, and he did, I think, as well as you would expect him to, but it's a couple things. I think Hollywood Brown is clearly, the injuries over his career have started to weigh on him. He doesn't move like the same guy as he used to. So I don't know if there is like that true threat to beat guys downfield. I know he caught the long kind of, not broken play, but the long catch down at the end of the game where somehow didn't score. And he got that one. But besides that, he wasn't ever threatening downfield. And you just saw almost all these plays he's coming out of the break, he's breaking the wrong direction than where Mahomes is throwing it, or he's drifting upfield coming. There was an arrow route down in the red zone where he breaks out and he angles up towards the pylon and Mahomes throws it flat. And it's just like afterward, he's like, what are we doing here? And I think you just saw that. And that's the guy that you had to rely on to be your volume target guy. That was your de facto wide receiver one for this game after the third play when Xavier Worthy goes out. And you could just tell there wasn't the same chemistry, but also like he maybe wasn't ready for that role and they had to make it work. So Mahomes was definitely dealt a rather difficult assignment, I think, in this game, but I don't think that alleviates any of the other issues that we have talked about. It's just someone's got to get open somewhere. The ball's coming out quick because nobody can get open downfield. It was a rough watch for a while until Mahomes kind of took over the game there, especially in the second half, and just kind of said, hey, I am going to win this game no matter what. Ultimately didn't, but like he really tried. Like we saw a vintage-ish Mahomes performance this one. Like he really did do just about everything he could to get them back into this game. He got them there, and they just, not enough guys could step up to help him, put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, you're seeing some of the stats there from the game here. Patrick Mahomes, 24-39, 258 yards and a touchdown. Also leads the Chiefs in rushing, 6 rushes for 57 yards on the game. Hollywood Brown, 10 catches, 99 yards. A nice performance from Hollywood Brown here as well. And I mean, yeah, Mahomes was incredible, man. I think he was outstanding. And like, you got some vintage plays from him. You got the little flip at the line of scrimmage to extended drive to Juju Smith-Schuster. You got the 4th and 7 rollout, throw down the sidelines, very him versus Baltimore-esque late in the game. I think that might have been a 4th and 7 too back in the day. And Mahomes just uncorks one to Hollywood Brown on that. Like you just saw so many plays and him using his legs, him trying to set a tone, trying to spark his team, right? With some contact, like not shying away from contact. So many good things from Patrick Mahomes, and it really does feel like a wasted performance from him. And that was frustrating, right? Because like there's just too many mistakes, man. There's just too many mistakes being made here, just across the board, and some of the play calling decisions. And I mean, there's some questions there for sure. I think he just took over, like you said, like it just at some point this disheveled mess found a rhythm. This disheveled mess found a beat because Mahomes just kind of made it happen, right? Even when things weren't perfect, like you're seeing this play on the pull here, like he just kind of figured it out and created on his own, and like that was refreshing to see. And I saw him pushing the ball down the field a little bit more. Big play to Tyquan Thornton. Like there's just it was fun to watch this offense for a decent stretch of this football game, and you hope it's a sign of things to come in the future.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you are trying to find like some silver linings out of this game, I guess you come out of it and say that like, hey, we saw a very good performance, I think, from Patrick Mahomes across the board. Like we saw a couple balls downfield get thrown. I actually thought the second incompletion to Tyquan Thornton had a chance to be completed. I think there was just not the best of tracking to get to that football. So we did see a little bit more aggressive Mahomes trying to push the ball downfield. The problem was like they lost all ability to throw the ball to the intermediate area of the field. It was all short and downfield for the majority of the game outside of the Travis Kelce touchdown that we are seeing here. That's kind of off the little play fake. And so, yeah, it's just, the offense felt very stagnant to watch until Mahomes started putting them on the back with all the scrambles, running guys over on the sideline, making some pretty insane plays. The problem is you can't need that week in and week out to beat a team like the Chargers. And like
No.
maybe we'll get to week 17 and it'll be like, oh, the Chargers are way better than we thought. But looking at this roster, their defense, their offensive line, their receiving weapons, you shouldn't need Mahomes to have to play at this level to beat this team if you're, expecting to be competing for the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, as they get healthier, when Rashee Rice is back from suspension, hopefully Xavier Worthy doesn't miss too much time. I do think the offense takes a step forward. So there is some potential help coming on the offensive side of the ball that will alleviate Mahomes having to carry up. I mean, right now, Mahomes had to carry 52 other guys. I guess 49 other guys, in this game is what it felt like for the majority of it.
Yeah, it really does. And we will get to the defense too. I will say Josh Simmons, I think played a pretty good game here. Like I think Josh Simmons did some good things in this game. I can't say as much about his counterpart, Kingsley Suamataia. I think we're going to be talking about him a lot heading into that Eagles game. But I actually think Simmons did some good things in his rookie debut.
I want to go back and watch because there was definitely some plays where his late hand stuff that we talked about all preseason got the best of him. And it wasn't even necessarily leading to super quick pressures, but it was leading to some uncomfortable nature. And Mahomes was leaving the pocket to go run at that point in time rather than stepping up and trying to throw the ball somewhere else. So I want to go back and watch it. I will say that certain grading services have him listed as the worst offensive player for the team from this game, which I think is kind of wild,
kind of insane and pointless. Maybe don't grade something off of a TV broadcast in the middle of a game and assume it's anything of value.
If you were going to get on any social media platform or discuss with somebody how Josh Simmons performed, just be ready. Someone's going to throw that out there until, if it gets changed, it might get changed later. We'll see. I thought he played relatively fine. I don't think at any point in time I felt like he was a liability. It actually felt like Jawaan Taylor was getting beat a little bit more than him.
When he wasn't Jawaan Taylor. False starting and holding and
had a lot of penalties. And then Kingsley, unfortunately, had the worst losses, right? Like I think if you're going to divvy it up, right, you got slow losses, just losses, and then really bad losses, like quick losses. And it felt like Kingsley, when he lost, it was the very quick variety still. And like, that's what's plagued him at left tackle last year when he got opportunities. That's what we saw in the preseason. So I do want to go back and watch before I make a definitive statement either way. Watching live, I never felt like left tackle was the problem holding them back. And I don't remember him like ever completely killing a play or a drive.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment of I think that's a fair assessment of all that. Anything else quick on the offense before we kind of switch to the other side of the ball?
Yes. How in the hell can this team not run block against a light box? It's not even like the Chargers are the 2021 Rams or 2020 Rams when Brandon Staley was there initially with Aaron Donald and some of those just absolute dominating gap and a half D linemen. How can they not run against a 5-man box? How is it that just every play somebody gets beat? It is insane to me how they can go out there and see so few defenders up in the box trying to defend the run, and they still have to fight tooth and nail to pull off a 3-yard run. And as a person very critical of this Chiefs running back room, it wasn't just the running backs in this game. They were getting hit in the backfield. They were having to make guys miss in the backfield. And it was just somebody always was just a little bit off. And I cannot wrap my mind around what they are doing so unbelievably poorly in practice or leading up to games to where this team cannot just straight up with this offensive line. They can't just clear 5 yards of space against a 5-man box. I don't understand why they cannot get that kind of movement, where the missing link is, what's going on. But it was one of the most pitiful performances of run blocking I've ever seen for a team that is just happily playing 5- and 6-man boxes all game long.
Yeah, and trying to get downhill was not successful for this team for the most part. I think they had one drive where they really started to get that downhill run game going. Like that was it. And some of their better runs, like I think there was a little stretch where you saw some wide runs, starting to hit a little bit more, but there really wasn't much of a run game at all. I mean, again, Patrick Mahomes led this team in rushing today. And 5 carries, 25 yards, 5 carries, 25 yards for Pacheco, 5 carries, 16 yards for Kareem Hunt, and Xavier Worthy, 1 carry for 0 yards, and then a shoulder issue. So it was brutal. It was a brutal watch, trying to watch this team try to move the line of scrimmage. I mean, they just didn't do it. And the D-line that they're going to see next week might be better. Probably is better because Jalen Carter is going to be furious. It's going to be better.
The Chargers played very well The Chargers played very well. This Chargers defensive line is not some
Not good.
competing to be top of the NFL. They played good in this game, but I don't think it was that. I think is even without Jalen Carter, the Eagles' defensive line's better.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right. It's big challenge for this team next week. Big challenge for this team next week, and what they did today was not good enough. There's going to be a lot of Chiefs fans out there at Arrowhead, and I'm calling all Chiefs fans right now. You could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to take a break. We will be back right after this.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
Just a short drive from Kansas City. Experience the history, the heritage, and the bourbon at Holiday Distillery. Tour Missouri's oldest distillery, where real Missouri bourbon is made the old-fashioned way. Walk the grounds, taste the tradition, and take home a bottle of something special. Make the trip, sip the story. Holiday Distillery, Weston, Missouri. Book your tour at holidaydistillery.com.
What's up, guys? I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network, and I'm here to talk to Kansas City businesses. If you rely on technology, you need an IT support team that's not just another vendor, but a true IT partner. That's how I want to introduce you to my friend and neighbor, KJ Miller. He is a VCIO at ThrottleNet, the Midwest's highest rated and most reviewed IT support company. They've been in business for more than 25 years, helping companies stay secure, productive, and ahead of the curve. They aren't just IT support, but they provide data security, IT strategy, and cloud software services. They do it all, and their reviews show they do it better than anyone else. So if you want to hear about how ThrottleNet can help your local business, join the conversation with myself, KJ Miller from ThrottleNet, and our resident genius from KC Sports Network when it comes to IT, at least as he's affectionately known by us, Mr. Craig Stout. Click the link in the description to hear how ThrottleNet can help you.
Chiefs fall 27-21 to the Los Angeles Chargers. Tucker D. Franklin is now hanging out with us tonight, and I think this segment's currently sponsored by Ben Holiday right now. It looks like. Tuck, how you feeling, man?
Yeah, that really sucked, guys.
Thank you for the expert analysis on that one.
Here's the thing. That sucks so much about it, Kent. That was the most fun I've had watching a Chiefs game in a really long time. That was the most fun I've had watching Patrick Mahomes play football in a long time. Going back probably all the way to last year, probably the Steelers game last year was probably the last time I had that much fun watching Patrick Mahomes throw a football. They couldn't stop a damn nosebleed.
They really couldn't. And we have a lot to talk about on the defensive side of the football. It was a lot of the fears were realized, right? The lack of the pass rush, the concerns at the safety position, Shamari Connor on the field as frequently as
at all.
At all. It was all there, and it was all exposed immediately. Like the Chiefs could not sort a switch release to save their life, and they were just.
Doesn't matter. Did it matter if they sorted the switch release? Unless it was Trent McDuffie, they weren't covering anybody. Let's call a spade a spade. It didn't matter who was. Brian Cook, nope. Shamari Connor, absolutely not. Christian Fulton, nope. Jalen Watson, nope. And Jaden Hicks, nope. Nick Bolton, nope. Literally nobody. It doesn't matter who it was. So unless Trent McDuffie was on something, they weren't being covered. It's you might as well blow the switch release and just figure it out from there because they're going to lose the rep anyway. It was a really bad performance on defense, kind of across the board. Similar to offensive line. I do want to go back and watch it again. I think the Chiefs, as the game went on, and I think it might have been at a halftime, did a pretty good job of adjusting to Ladd McConkey just absolutely killing them. And the adjustment was, we're going to take our one guy that can cover and put him on Ladd McConkey a few more times. The issue is that meant Quentin Johnston was breaking everyone's ankles, and Will Dissly became, prime Travis Kelce, and just not a good performance defensively. Offensively, I can come up with some rationale, some cope for why they weren't able to look great, and then some things that looked okay, right? Like you can come up with that. Defensively, I mean, give me a positive on defense. It doesn't start and end with Trent McDuffie, Kent.
The run defense was pretty good.
Nailed it.
I mean, that's what's so funny is we sit and we talk about how the Chiefs going to stop the run without a nose tackle. How are they going to do it? Well, Omarion Hampton, 15 rushes for 48 yards. Under 4 yards a carry. They didn't give up any really in the run game, but they just got absolutely wrecked in the passing game. They got spliced and diced. Tyler Conklin had 50 receiving yards.
Who?
The ghost of Keenan Allen had 7 catches for 68 yards. Quentin Johnston caught 5 passes for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the last time Quentin Johnston looked that good was the Fiesta Bowl 4 years ago.
He didn't even double catch anything today. He just caught everything clean. Almost came down with a difficult catch. Like, the run game, the run defense was fine. It's just they could not, and part of the reason that the pass game, that's actually not true. It didn't matter what they did, but some of the play action stuff was really just cooking the Chiefs too. But so was the drop back game. So was the switch releases. Like, all of it was working. Everything worked in the passing game. Everything. It was 7-on-7. Most of the game was 7-on-7 because there's no pass rush. There was no pass rush. There was no pass rush. And I texted these guys about, I don't know what, early fourth quarter. I didn't text as much.
Pretty quiet today, actually, in the group chat.
I texted these guys early in the fourth quarter, and I said, we gotta stop playing Chris Jones edge. This Chris Jones, letting Chris Jones do what Chris Jones wants to do and pick his matchup and move around the defensive line. We gotta stop it because he's not good out on the edge. He's not consistent out on the edge, and he's on the wrong side of 30. Just let him get a quick win, quick pressure from the interior, or let him get double and triple teamed. That's great. I'm sick of the edge experiments. I'm sick of it.
Okay. So you're talking. I'm assuming we're here focusing on the final play here, right?
No, I was just complaining about all of it, and it manifested itself at the end. But the whole thing's there. It's a terrible pass rush. It's a terrible pass rush.
But Chris Jones, it was the most efficient edge rusher last year or whatever. He was incredibly efficient rushing from the defensive end alignment last year, right? And I understand why the Chiefs want to go back into that. I understand why you want to say, hey, we don't have a very good pass rush. Why not let the one guy that's good at it pick his matchup? I fully follow the logic and understand it. The problem is it doesn't work situationally. And I think that's the issue the Chiefs are kind of maybe running into that they haven't figured out yet. He's not the same guy he once was. He isn't a complete and utter guaranteed game wrecker on any given play. You have to pick and choose your spots. And situationally, credit to whoever for the Chargers did this. It might have just been straight up Herbert. It could have been whoever designed the idea. I think when they saw Chris Jones at the end, I think they purposely went 4-by-1 saying, we might have an idea here just because they did motion over. I don't remember who the running back was, if it was Hampton or Harris at the time, but they moved him sides when Chris Jones was at the end and they went 4-by-1. And Chris Jones, not being a defensive end by trade, he is a D tackle who flexes out. I don't think understood in that moment that he no longer had the freedom of a two-way go. At that moment, he lost his ability to have a two-way go unless he is letting Mike Dana know that Mike Dana has to have contained because that's who was playing D tackle next to him. I don't think that happened, judging by the way the play went out. The moment Chris Jones took that inside release, it was just a lack of knowledge of the situation by a guy that was playing out of position. Whether you want to blame Spags for putting him there in that moment in time, you might be able to. But I also think, if you're 30-plus-year-old veteran in the NFL, you probably should have a better idea.
I think there's a little bit to blame to go around for both. I have more frustration with, I don't think the edge experiment needs to be continued as much. I think they let him do it too much. And I think there's too much freedom there to do it. And I think they should bolt him a little bit farther inside more consistently. I think there's a little bit of blame on both sides when it comes to the third and fourth team play, right? The Chiefs are playing man, the quarterback, if you're not spying him and your backs are turned in man coverage chasing down the field, you can't give up contain because there's not eyes on the quarterback. And so 3 guys played a contain rush. And then Chris comes inside after, like you said, they go to a 4x1. He beats inside it. Great quick win. But no one is there to chase. And no one is there for miles because you have to contain it. I think, and there's a clip of Drew Tranquill getting quite upset with Chris here. And tell him to do his job. Because you have to be in contain there. I've seen a lot of people like Jeff Allen talking about you need to be in contain rush there. I have my frustrations with Chris on it, but I just don't put him in that spot. Don't put him in that situation. In that spot. Just I think they're leaning on it too much. And they leaned on it too much throughout the game. And like Trey Pipkins lopped him down a couple times in that game. Trey Pipkins. Like they're choosing his matchup and he didn't do anything with it. So just like kick him inside, especially when you're not getting, the ball's getting out of Herbert's hand so quickly. Anyway, try to disrupt from the interior. So frustrating. The whole thing was frustrating. Tucker, you said you got a tweet.
Yeah, Nate Taylor down there in Brazil. Andy Reid talking at the podium right now. I can see him on my TV over here talking about this game. He said the Chiefs will know more on Xavier Worthy's right shoulder when the team returns to Kansas City. He said, quote, "I've got to make sure my team comes out with better emotion. We were a little flat there."
You think?
This is the first game of the season. What more do you got to do to get him up, Coach?
Well, I think I'm not going to blame Brazil because one team handled Brazil better than the other. But this sluggish 2-hour drive to the game, to the stadium, 12-hour flight, sluggish. Chiefs were sluggish. They didn't handle it as well as...
They did get out there a day later than the Chargers did, too. I know that's part of their, the trainers and everything do that with international games. We talked about that last year with them going out, or 2 years ago with them going out to Germany. It's better for your next week if you just go out there and rip the Band-Aid off. So they were out there not as long as the Chargers were out there too, is also a part of it. And they did as you mentioned, Kent, their team hotel, Nate Taylor told us this too, was 2 hours away from the stadium. It was a 2-hour drive away from the stadium. That's not nothing. I do think that there is something there. That's not coping or anything like that. But
no.
Guys, it's the first game of the season. I don't know if you need any more extra juice or motivation to that. But yeah, it's frustrating. Can I talk about the defense for a little bit?
Of course.
Okay.
Please.
You guys were talking about handling releases, covering guys. Look, they could have covered him absolutely perfectly. I think Justin Herbert probably still would have found some guys because no one could rush the passer. They were blitzing guys too. Blitzers weren't even getting home. They made this offensive line for the LA Chargers look like the 03 Chiefs offensive line, fellas. They made this look like it was full of 5 Hall of Famers out here. They made this offensive line that was using the power of friendship to block this defensive line look like Hall of Famers. Yes, Seamus said Tranquill had 2 sacks. Those are blitzes. He's not on the defensive line. That's not generating any pressure. That is so frustrating to me that we come into this game with a depleted Chargers line where we talked about, hey, this is probably going to be the offensive line. If this defensive line is going to get after them, this is probably the offensive line they're going to need to do it with.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen.
No.
And it didn't matter. It didn't matter what they were doing in the back end. There are very major problems in the back end of the secondary. There are huge problems back there. But it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered because those guys weren't getting home. It was just a very poor defensive performance. Maybe one of the most frustrating Steve Spagnuolo defensive performances since he's been in Kansas City. Maybe there's some recency bias there, but I think that's the most frustrated I've been with the defense in some time. I mean, look, here's the thing. They're not waiting for anybody to come back from injury. They're not going to have anybody come off the IR for this team. This is the team. This is the defense. This is it. This is going to be your defense. unless they sign Fred Warner off of waivers. Who knows?
Jabril Peppers.
There's like
Jabril Peppers is out there.
That might do it. That might be better than what they have right now. But
definitely would be.
Our pets' heads are falling off, guys.
I mean, like we talked a lot about not being able to cover the pass rush, and like that was all bad. But like, I mean, the safety play was pretty bad too.
It was all bad. It was terrible.
The safeties were getting cooked. I wanted to specifically talk about the safeties because I think Shamari Connor is going to catch a lot of flack for his coverage in the slot, and rightfully so. He also wasn't any better at safety than he was in the slot. He was constantly late to ID stuff. Even the few times they put Hicks down and had Connor roll down into like the high hole, he was late to identify which side the first crosser was coming from. His eyes weren't in the right spot. And like, not that Hicks was a lot better, not that Brian Cook was a lot better. It's just, there's a lot of not good defensively, and there's a few moving parts this year, and you do lose a Justin Reed, and so maybe the Chargers had a really good game plan coming out and throwing the ball a lot more than you would ever expect any Greg Roman team to ever do, right? And so maybe there's a reason that all these things kind of happen, but to Tucker's point, like what's going to change going forward though, right? It's just, we're going to play better. Possible, highly possible. We have seen this Chiefs team play better over certain weeks and months throughout the year. They have gone to multiple Super Bowls. They've won multiple. They don't do anything but go to the AFC Championship game, right? They will likely play a better football game in the near future than they just did. And so we do know that's coming. However, the same problems we saw this defense that we thought coming into the year, literally every single one of them reared their head on all levels. And like, this defense looks like they're going to have to resort to bend, don't break, and offense, please save us, which is fine. We've seen Mahomes and this offense do that before, but I just don't know if they can do that for the first 6 weeks of the year, right? The defense got to put up a little better fight than this. You got to get situational stops if you're going to win that way. Boy.
Well, and situational football, that we saw how situational football was today. And guess what? One situation late in the game, things might look a little bit different here, too. The 3rd and 14, maybe a little contain rush. And like, I don't think let me make it clear. Like, this isn't like, I don't think this is like an entirely Chris problem. I just think structurally we gotta think through some things a little different here. Like, I don't know if it's a little less freedom. I don't know what it is, but it's everything. I think it's just some decisions. It's playing Shamari Connor in the slot as much. It's, how to weaponize Chris as he sits today in this version of Chris. It's all of those things. I just don't agree with them. Do you know what the best way to keep Shamari Connor successful in the slot? Play Trent McDuffie in the slot.
Thank you.
But you can't do that because Christian Fulton's given up digs on 3rd and 15 to Quentin Johnson. Cooking. Like it's a practice out in Los Angeles in 2024.
You don't think Trent McDuffie wants to play in the slot? I think Trent McDuffie, has made it kind of clear he wants to play outside. I don't blame him. He probably is tired of having to make every run stop too from the slot. Like, that's not fun when you're a corner to have to tackle every run as well because the linebackers can't get there. So like, I mean, I get the predicament there. And like I said, I thought they made a pretty good adjustment to slow down Ladd McConkey in the second half. The problem is that the Chargers just said, okay, that's fine. We'll drop back and throw it to anybody else. Literally raise your hand and you're probably open and we will throw you the football. And that's kind of what happened.
At least Justin Reed and Christian Fulton are making the same APY.
Well, speaking of Justin Reed, you see he tweeted?
No.
Yeah.
Justin Reed tweeted, this was like seconds ago. Jaden Hicks is a star in this league. I've seen firsthand what this kid can do. One game does not define any player, coach, or team. There are a ton of plays for a bunch of players on both sides of the ball to learn from. Thank you, Magic Johnson.
Sounds like Stanford.
We miss you, Justin.
Yeah.
I mean, like, listen. Yeah.
Good thing.
Is that true?
Sorry.
No. Is that true? Sure. That's very true. I wasn't ever watching the game. I'm like, Jaden Hicks is the reason they're losing this game. Like, was he good? No. But I was never sitting there saying that Jaden Hicks is the problem.
There's another safety I was saying was a problem a lot more than him.
Yeah, I don't think Hicks is the reason. I think of on the safety power rankings or whatever you want to call them. I don't think he's at the top.
Let's power rank the 5 reasons the Chiefs lost. All right, Maddie, you start. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. That might have been the best way to do this, actually.
Tuck, can you get a graphic together?
Oh gosh, that would take me a while. Number 5, the YouTube broadcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that is.
Oh yeah, what'd you guys think of YouTube? How'd YouTube go for you guys? That seems more entertaining than talking about the Chiefs.
I watched on the antenna, but I guess it's still the same broadcast, so I felt like I was living 4 plays ahead of everyone else.
Because you were. Nice, I was watching on 41 Action News as well, and it like watching people react to the field goal at the end of the half 2 minutes after the fact was hilarious. It was like literally I was a good 70, 80 seconds ahead. Like it was.
So, judging by the KCSN Discord, I feel like it's probably closer to like 30 seconds, but it was, I mean, it was pretty noticeable though. Like it was pretty noticeable. And how quick it was going. But like the broadcast had no issues, right? They had no issues. They threw out some YouTubers at us to try to get the kids involved. You know, people the kids might know. That's fine. I don't care. Hey, listen, try what you're going to do, NFL. Get the kids in the game. I thought it went fine. YouTube did fine. That's all I wanted to say. YouTube did fine.
I think it's like
sure.
People were so mad at the YouTube like pregame show. The YouTube pregame show was not for any of us.
No.
If you're watching this show on YouTube right now, the YouTube pregame show was not for you. It was for the casuals.
No, it's not for the casuals. It's for kids. It's for like a lot of the stuff they did was for kids. They're trying to get like teenagers that know these people that are popping up on there involved. Like this is like yelling at the NFL because they put the Toy Story game on. Like you're mad that Woody was on your screen. Like it wasn't for you. They weren't showing you for you. That was for your 8-year-old to be interested in the game. Like relax.
We're going to have some more presser quotes here in a second, but we're going to take a break and we'll be back with all of those and more right after this.
What's good, everyone? It is KCSN betting analyst Benny Heiss. You know, something hit me as I was driving to the Missouri side, ironically, for something not available on the Kansas side. I cross over. I just can't get over how long sports fans in the state of Missouri have been waiting. It feels like forever. The good news is you don't have to wait much longer because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is finally coming to the Show Me State. And if you're thinking, yeah, but I got to wait on the sidelines until December 1st, it's not true. You can sign up right now. And when we go live, new Missouri customers get $300 in bonus bets just for placing a $5 bet. $5. That's not even as much as a pumpkin spice latte that's going to take over. So it's not some ragtag sports, but this is DraftKings. You got live in-game betting. So if your team starts hot, you could jump in mid-play. There's lightning fast payouts. None of that wait 3 days for your money nonsense. And you've got more ways to get in on the action. There's no better way to start. It's all from your phone. When we go live, you'll be betting with a sportsbook trusted by millions, safe, secure, fast withdrawals, everything you want. Well, except maybe a guarantee that your team will cover the spread, but that part's still on you. So here's the move. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code KCSN, and when we go live December 1st, that $5 bet turns into $300 in bonus bets. That is code KCSN in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after they are issued. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Chiefs fall 27-21 to the Los Angeles Chargers. Does not feel good to be in last place in the AFC West. When was the last time the Chiefs
NFL?
When was the last time the Chiefs were in last place in the AFC West?
I wasn't born yet.
Like, I don't know about that.
Same.
I was born, yeah.
Some quotes coming out from Patrick Mahomes. And
this one makes me mad. I know what you're about to read, but it literally
actually, I've got several of them. So I got several of them queued up. So you just run to whatever you were gonna say.
All right, Patrick Mahomes, I wasn't good enough. We didn't execute. I missed on some throws, and it wasn't good enough. Pat, buddy, you were good enough. You were fine. I know you got to say that. I get it. You're fine. You're not the reason we lost. Somebody responded to me and said they lost, so he wasn't good enough. Fuck that. No, he was fine. That's dumb. That's so dumb.
Better than fine.
Patrick was good in this game.
He was great. I
know he has to say it. I get it, but it's so blatantly just like words out of his mouth. He's just spewing it, and it's just like, sorry.
They were out of sorts for a couple possessions, and I think Hollywood needed a few possessions to remember how to play. And then once he kind of got into the swing of things, he looked a lot better. But I think there was just some timing issues, there was some inconsistencies there, and then they kind of started putting it all together. But he was largely awesome. There was a couple chances that he missed, but and those are I think I saw him talking about, he felt like a couple of the early verticals, like he could have hit Tyquan Thornton, which, hey, shout out Tyquan Thornton, by the way. Good for him, man. Great job. Getting out of New England and Mac Jones and the Mac Jones experiment, and getting to come play for Patrick Mahomes. That was pretty cool. I did think this was interesting. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes says that the team didn't play well enough in the first half, and he felt the Chargers had more energy coming out. When you don't come out and play in the right mindset, you get beat. That's from Charles Goldman. And that was one of the things that was so noticeable. It was night and day different first half to second half. I thought the energy.
I hate energy talk, man. I hate played flat. I hate energy talk.
Tell me it's not real, though. Watch that game and tell me that those two halves didn't look discernibly different from an effort perspective.
The only difference is Mahomes got pissed off that the rest of the team sucked ass, so he started putting it all on his own. That was the only difference.
Yeah.
I don't think the difference was he said, "Oh, no one's open." Instead of trying to hit Hollywood Brown on a timing route where he's going to turn the wrong way, I'm just going to run it. That was your difference. He got pissed off, which is fine. Hey, cool, do that. It's September 5th. We don't need Patrick Mahomes doing that every single game from now until the Super Bowl. If the goal is to win the Super Bowl, it's going to be hard to win that way. Somebody's got to help him. Yeah, I agree. They came out and played with low energy, but that's just such a low-hanging excuse that they always go to. Why is your energy low? And even if your energy is low, I don't know, get some free runners. The Chargers had no problem getting guys wide open. I don't think it was because their energy was higher. It's not because they drank an extra Red Bull.
No, it's because they were playing the Chiefs defense, Maddie.
Chris Jones is currently talking right now, by the way. I don't know if you see this. You see all these coming through?
I haven't seen them. I did see another one from Mahomes. It's a learning moment for the young guys on the team. We're going to get everyone's best. We didn't play to our standard. Everybody, offense, defense, and special teams.
Sure.
Special teams? Special teams did good.
They missed an extra point. Which
that's true. That's a good point.
They chased it all night, man. They chased that point all night.
Yes, they did. Yep. They did. Oh wow, Chris Jones. On the play with Herbert at the end. Tough day. I took an inside move. I put that blame on myself. I probably could have played it better. I just stayed outside. I should have pass rushed better. I should have contained better. I blame myself.
Yeah, Chris has no problem with taking blame or responsibility for when he messes up. He's done that. It's just, you can't do it again the next time. And hey, he did this against the Bills last year that cost them a game too. So it's it's gonna happen. And that's what he does. I can live with it a little bit more when it's at D tackle and when it's not so obvious that you can't do it. It's a little bit more frustrating when it's very clear as day that you are not allowed to do that on the play. That's where it becomes an issue. Okay, I've seen enough people ask this in chats. We got to talk about it real quick, and we can go back to your quotes. What do you want to do with right tackle? How do you feel about Jawaan Taylor right now with Jalen Moore sitting over there making not as much money, but a substantial enough amount of money? How are you feeling about the Jawaan Taylor experiment right now?
Well, I think that Jawaan Taylor's going to have to play guard soon. So, no.
You mean Jalen Moore's going to have to play guard soon?
Yeah, Jalen Moore.
Doesn't matter. Somebody's going to have to.
Yeah, I think you ride with.
Put a goddamn traffic cone out there. Might be better. Sorry.
I'd roll with Jawaan Taylor out there a little bit longer. I wouldn't give up on him on this. On this week. I think I would roll for a little bit longer and see how things go. But boy, that was bad for him, man. Right? 2 holding penalties, a false start penalty,
false starts, got beat a couple times.
beat a couple times. It was not pretty. And like I know he's kind of, he's not had the luxury of an entire preseason, and he's been dealing with some injuries. And like he even talked about like having to take this 12-hour flight with his knee, like was not looking forward to that. I don't think his knee causes him to go off, to false start though. Like
it's ballooned.
Maybe it's just started wearing on him a little bit. But no, I think I'd roll with Jawaan Taylor, and I get the frustration. I do get the frustration with it, but I think we've seen him play good football in the past, and you live with it for now. And if it just is something that doesn't get fixed, then you maybe make a move. But like, I don't know if Jalen Moore doesn't need to get ready to play left guard either. So
you thought Kingsley was that bad?
Well, the coolest play of the game was made because Khalil Mack took Kingsley Suamata'ia's soul in crunch time.
47-year-old Khalil Mack. He's the same age as Craig Stout.
And
there's another play right up there like that where it's really close. I think later in that drive where he got
earlier in the drive, right? Yeah,
it was in the same drive. Listen, he definitely lost. When he lost quick. I just didn't feel like, and maybe it's by virtue of playing guard where you can be protected a little bit. It just didn't feel like he was like completely stunting drives, right? Like if that makes sense. When my thing for offensive linemen, if you're bad enough to get benched, it's because you are stunting drives, plural. I didn't feel like Kingsley was that bad. It didn't feel like he ever hit what he did at left tackle. It didn't feel like he got to Wanya Morris versus the Las Vegas Raiders last year level in this particular game.
No, I'm just saying like there were certainly some negatives that gave me pause, especially in crunch time. It was like, oh, it's like I'm not sure Khalil Mack lined up over Kingsley the entire game until that last possession, and they were like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here. And then they unleashed him. We haven't talked about the fire drill yet. Shout out to by the way, the fire drill partially caused a little bit because of just the false starts happening there. Like it kind of gets that offensive possession out of rhythm and puts them in an unmanageable third down situation. They have to throw an out route with 12 seconds left on the clock. They run out there, they execute, they get on the field. Hollywood Brown sprints off in the last second. They get the ball off actually with like 2 or 3 seconds left. Like they had 2 or 3 seconds to spare on the fire drill. And then Harrison Butker drills that field goal to go down 13-6 to close the half.
With the offensive ball, not even the kicking ball. They didn't have time to change the ball out. He kicked the offensive ball.
Yeah.
Impressive.
We should have used it for the extra point.
For 59 yards. Yeah, should have. For 59 yards too. That's not like a chip shot or anything.
No, it's literally one of the longest kicks of his career. But that was impressive. Shout out Harrison Butker for doing that. Unfortunately, they have to chase that point that he misses on the field goal the rest of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Just up and down, man. Just all of it, up and down.
Thoughts on the 2-point play? I don't know if you guys remembered off the top of your head, but they ran like a pretty similar concept to what they run all the time in the short yardage, like as their 2-point plays. But they ran to the short side of the field, which I thought was interesting.
They had Gray on a out route, right?
It was like a little sit down hook, and then they did like then they did like corn dog ish. Out to the
they
flat
had to return to the flat, and then I think they had did they have a back widening out there too?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Gray was open front line.
Yeah.
Gray was open front line. It's just Tired Tart made a great play.
He did it again later too because the Chiefs kept throwing everything at the line of scrimmage.
If the Chiefs are down 7, do they go for it on 4th down in the red? On the possession that they kicked the field goal with 2:45 left?
I would have made a lot more sense to throw a fade route to your wide receiver 8 if you were going to go for it on 4th down.
I forgot.
It would have made a lot more sense to burn that play for absolutely no reason if you were going to go for it on 4th down. Just
you know what
to
I
try
always
something.
say? You know what I always say, fellas? It's always good to use your wide receiver 8 on 3rd down in the red zone when you need to have a touchdown and throw a fade to him. I think that is always what I said. I stick to that my whole life. That's one of the best philosophies I have. You say, hey, what wide receiver do we have that doesn't play very often and is here on his second team, right? No shade to Jason Brownlee, even though that was full shade to Jason Brownlee.
It's not Jason Brownlee's fault he made the team.
You're right.
Is it?
I don't even
This
know how
goes
you
all
get
the
to
way
that
up
point,
to God. I'm just joking.
I don't even know how you get to that. I don't even know how you get to that point.
Holy hell! I don't. Why
And,
are
like,
you
I've
putting him
seen-
on the field?
Exactly.
Right, and I've seen some people say like, "Oh, well, the throw was really bad." I'm like, no, the throw wasn't bad. By the time you have to make the read, Brownlee had it won. He was completely
Right.
locked up when Mahomes has to throw the ball, so he's just throwing it to a spot because that's the play. Like, it was a terrible play. It was a terrible decision, terrible play calling. Surprisingly, your wide receiver 8 did not execute it particularly well. That was wild. I guess you're thinking in that moment, either way, we have to score twice. So if we don't complete this, we're kicking a field goal anyway. But still, I think that right there told you the state of this offense somehow.
I do want to go back and watch that play too. I do want to see the ball placement on that because the whole thing was a mess. Like the decision to do it. And like when you're from the 10, it's tough, man. Like that's a really tough spot to be in, especially if you don't feel like you can protect.
A long fade. Why do they feel like they can't protect?
Very long fade. It's a very.
Why
long
do they
fade.
feel like they can't protect though? Right, like with that.
Yeah, this offense too from 10 out, trying to throw a touchdown from 10 out is just like it's not their wheelhouse. They don't have any.
Oh.
They don't have any. They don't have the annexation to Puerto Rico to run.
Actually, they did have the wheelhouse. It was called Travis Kelce wide open over the middle of the field, and he inexplicably stopped running.
Oh, yeah, that was big. And you saw Mahomes frustrated on that one. Like that was one of those areas that you kind of point to. Like you can point to a lot of different players and a lot of different like pieces of this Chiefs era having things to be questioned about, right? Like Travis with that, like some of the play calling questions that we've had, everything but Mahomes. I'm not really gonna go on Mahomes today.
One more thing from me. We'll talk about receiver decisions.
Oh, sure.
How the hell does Hollywood Brown not score on that deep ball? He stops running.
It's because he had to. I think it's because he had to catch it, kind of running backwards. He had to slow down to catch it.
I know he had to slow down to catch it, but he backs into the dude that tackles him. Watch it again. He backs into the dude that tackles him. He braces for the impact to hit him.
I don't think that Hollywood Brown did great on that play. He did have to slow down and turn around to catch the ball. So he had to flip his hips again and run. And it was not difficult, but I understand how a defender would catch up to him. I also think that Hollywood Brown of 3 seasons ago probably scores. That's where I ultimately come down on it. And I think it's crazy that Keenan Allen at older than Craig's age, was able to get more yards after the catch on one play than Hollywood Brown was able to get essentially all game on like 28 targets.
Hollywood Brown, almost came out of this game with 100 yards receiving, 10 catches, 99 yards.
And 97 were yards before the catch.
That's what's wild is he has 9 catches for 50 yards. Outside of the 49-yard play on 4th and 7, where he's just running right down the field.
Yeah, they were just throwing him all the short stuff. He couldn't turn them into anything more than where he caught it, which is fine. Like they just needed somebody to do that. Juju Smith-Schuster was trying his best. That man tied his kneecaps together, and he went out there and he was trying his absolute best. But they needed somebody else, and Hollywood Brown was able to cash it up.
Yeah, he did.
I'm trying to think how 1 sack on the day, 3 sacks on the day, 2 from Drew Tranquill and 1 from George Karlaftis.
Yeah.
Chat. They do not lead Kadarius Toney. That is not what needs to happen in this offense right now. Do not bring that up.
Make it happen. Who's on the practice squad?
You're getting you guys are getting McCole Hardman. You know it.
He's on the practice squad.
He's on the practice squad. You guys are getting McCole Hardman. If Xavier Worthy's shoulder results in him going into the IR, which, I mean, listen, the trainer looked like he said it was pretty bad, so we'll see when they get back to Kansas City. You're getting McCole Hardman, and you're going to like it.
You know what?
Trade for Sky Moore again. Get him back. Where's that 6?
That's also, listen, that door's also wide open. They could trade a 4th for Sky Moore to get him back.
MVS?
Right up their alley the way they're doing it. Okay, you can just chill now.
I can say whatever I want about MVS because he has to be blocked.
Should we Should we close this thing out, gentlemen? We should get some final thoughts in here before we move on. I'm
really was there any other super chats? Got to shout out to the super chats that we get them in here.
Shout out to the super chats.
It's got some, we got one from Caleb over here. Not a Super Bowl roster. 49 next week. I assume. Okay.
Who's 49?
I don't understand that one. Maybe somebody smarter than me can figure out what 49 next week is. Bumpa, love seeing Drew get in Chris Jones' face. Yeah, I mean, like I like somebody trying to hold the quote unquote best defensive player on the team accountable. I'm not saying he isn't best, but like I like that. I like somebody trying to do that, and Drew has been pretty strong with that. 2-4 till Rashee Rice comes back. Do you guys think that's accurate?
No.
Okay.
No, I think they'll. Let me look.
They'll beat the Giants.
They're going to beat one of Baltimore and Detroit. They're going to be 4-2 after the first 6.
I think Detroit has way too many injuries right now.
I think they're going to be 3-3.
Joseph, what is most troubling, and Tucker talked about this a lot, is why the defense is healthy and played real bad. Do you faith? What faith do you have in them? Oh, you guys just talked about but we talked about both these things, right? Tucker was saying, hey, there's nobody else coming for the defense is what you got. And then we talked a little bit about Philly. But those are going to be tough games. Tough games with a healthy team, tough games without. So I'm just ripping through these now. Jason, how concerned are we? If Worthy misses extra time, like how concerned are you guys?
Pretty concerned. I do think they'll figure some things out. They'll find some things. They'll make some things work. If it's enough to mask the defense, I don't know. Like maybe it will be 3-3. Maybe I'm gonna talk myself into 3-3 here in the first 6.
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm concerned if Worthy misses time. I'll just straight up say, like, you're going 6 games without your number one wide receiver, and if you have to go those same 6 games or more, or even most of them without your number 2 wide receiver, from what I just saw from Hollywood Brown and Travis Kelce in this game, I don't know. I'm a little concerned that how they're going to throw the ball. I don't think they can run block to save their lives. No. Like, where does any offense come from?
This is another year with no running off with no run game, and that is not going to be great to save Patrick Mahomes, and that's a little bit of frustrating. Look, this is another friendly fire injury, by the way. Another Chargers game with another friendly fire injury that takes out a wide receiver. That's, boy howdy, Worthy did not see Travis Kelce coming because he ragdolled him. Like, I mean,
yeah, well,
that was tough.
150-pound wide receiver. Travis Kelce in the best shape of his life. Worthy was moving on that play
He was moving. That's a unstoppable force and movable object type stuff right there.
I want to go watch it again because I was trying to figure out, was Worthy too deep or was Kelce too shallow?
Kelce got jammed.
He did, but like Kelsey's good enough to avoid that long enough. So I was trying to figure out, but it didn't look like Worthy was too deep, right? Like off the top of my head, it didn't look like Worthy was more than 3 yards downfield, and he was trying to even go lower. So like he was trying to get back underneath. So it felt like Kelce just didn't clear enough space, and obviously not on purpose, but like it just felt like he got too jammed up, and like that was going to be open too because Worthy was taking off.
Yeah. Yes. Hollywood Brown on his big drop to start the game, he might still be running.
I saw him run. Remember the long play where Tucker just complained about?
No one over there. There was nobody over there. You know what? Hey, I'm really proud of ourselves, guys, because we've gone 58 minutes and like we're good enough here to not not blame the refs for a loss.
Zero blame on the refs.
That didn't even cross my mind. There's so
many
things to talk about.
However, that hold from Najee Harris on Shamari Connor on the touchdown play to Quentin Johnston was egregious. Like you could see shoulder pad, and they didn't call it. They didn't call it at all. Najee Harris is taking Shamari Connor for a ride. I'm watching it right now.
I thought it was. I mean, I did think it was a hold live, but like, what am I going to do? Say, hey, you didn't call the running back for a hold? I don't know.
It was right there.
It probably was a hold, but like you should have got off the field 4 plays earlier or 7 plays earlier, whatever it was. Like just get off the field and that play doesn't matter. That's kind of where I was at, but thank you.
Maddie definitely put that one up. Thank you for just so you know, Bolt Up, the donation, that's a donation to Trez Paylor's Foundation, to the All Juice Scholarship Program. So thank you for your support there. We appreciate that.
I didn't think that was a negative thing. I thought I thought it was a fine comment. That's what I put up there. I appreciate any and all fan bases that come and hang out in the chat. Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's a September game. You
Can
know what
I
mean?
can I show you guys the play? Can we run the playback and get the Hollywood playback?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
How do you want to watch it? Oh yeah.
I just want you guys to
Good
he
God.
he backs into it. Like he could have just kept running for it. I think he would have been a touchdown. Like I understand he's running straight right there. He's running.
There's somebody
it'll
got
flip.
the
It'll
view.
flip. It'll
Okay,
flip.
someone. Yeah, I've seen the view where
The end zone view right here. But you watch him. He like stops running. I think if I know he has to back up. He catches it. He's got plenty of time to keep running forward, and he backs into him. See.
He tries to throw on the brake so that he flies by. I get what you're saying. But yeah, if he just keeps running, he probably falls down at like the 3-yard line instead of wherever he ends up. So like maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm pretty sure that Ravens throw, that crazy throw was 4th and 9. Never mind.
4th and 9. Yeah.
I really thought it was 4th
body.
and 7.
Kind of the same thing. Yeah.
It was very similar. I thought it was a 4th and I thought it was a 4th and 7 too. But you know.
Hey, what's Tyreek up to?
Pissing off the entirety of the Miami Dolphins organization, City of Miami.
Here's back to the wide receiver thing about Worthy. So Hollywood Brown, this was kind of like last year, right? Hollywood Brown goes out and you're like, oh man, that does suck, but you still have Rashee Rice. And then Rashee Rice gets hurt. And then you're like, Rashee Rice gets suspended this year. Like, oh man, that really does suck. Good thing we still have Xavier Worthy. Now we don't. So we're running Unk Ball again. Unk Ball is back for 2025. Go ahead, grab your tickets. Final tour. What is it? The farewell tour of Unk Ball. Here we go. It's going to be Kareem Hunt. You're going to have Juju Smith-Schuster. You're going to have Travis Kelce. Unk Ball in full effect. Here we go. We're playing the hits. We're doing it again.
Big Bob.
Hey, where the fuck was Bob?
Mr. Kareem Hunt.
Bob's not old, is he? Actually, I think he is. I looked up. He was like born in the 80s.
I think he's. No, he's not.
No, he's not. I'm just. He's born
like
in 1994.
He's 31 years old. He's closer to you in age than me.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I know.
Damn, I'm almost 31. Fuck. I gotta record another podcast tonight, guys.
Oh, that's gonna be fun for you.
Yeah, with this energy,
it's gonna take you some time to put that explicit tag on this episode.
Oh no, it doesn't. Actually, our new podcast host makes it super easy for me to explicitly tag episodes. That's why I do it all the time now.
Final thoughts, Tucker.
Well, I mean, that wasn't fun, but it was at the same time. That's the thing. That's what I'm stuck on. It's like I'm so stoked that football is back, that we can talk about football, that we have real games to talk about, and I'm so glad that I can watch Patrick Mahomes make just insanely stupid plays where he's horizontal to the ground and flipping it behind his head and completing passes. Like I'm very excited that I can watch that again. I'm just super bummed out that they lost and they had a Bob Sutton defense out there. But that wasn't fun, but it was at the same time. That's my final thought. That's a good one from Zach. Final thought. Fuck.
Yeah. Man, my final thought was coming into the year, I thought the offense was going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting because I was a little worried the defense would go a lot like this. I thought the run defense would be a little bit more of a problem than the pass defense, but I also think the Chiefs might have sold out a little bit to stop the run. So maybe it balances out to either way. That you're going to get a lot of bend and pray you don't break. They did a lot of fucking breaking in this game on the defensive side of the ball. And the offense had to carry them along. The problem is when you lose wide receiver 1 and 2, and then you're relying on the cast to have Unk Ball, as Tucker likes to call it, kind of hard to carry an offense playing that way, especially when you can't run it. So we'll see. I think we might be in for a very tough first 6 weeks of the year if Worthy is unable to come back right away, which seems a little unlikely at this moment in time. So yeah, I mean, ultimate end game, like expectations are no different. It's still a team that should compete for the Super Bowl, but boy, it seems a lot lofty to get to like 14, 15 wins right now because a lot of games seem losable if you can lose this kind of game to the Chargers.
I don't anticipate Xavier Worthy back next week. I'll just say that. I think it's going to be a while. That's just a guess. It could be a while. final thoughts. There's a lot of things. A lot of people can point to things that they got to get better in this game, and yeah, I think the energy needed to be better, Maddie. I said it. I said the energy needed to be better in the first half, but I think there's a lot of things this team's gonna have to they're gonna have to work through, and like they're gonna have a better game plan for post Xavier Worthy. They're gonna have some things in place that will better suit this entire offense. But it's going to be a challenge. This game against the Philadelphia Eagles is going to be a significant challenge now. Without Xavier Worthy.
Oh my God! Imagine what they're gonna do after watching Herbert run.
Oh my! Well, and like
Jalen, they have a real offensive line too,
and a real defense.
I mean, I guess it can't be any worse than what we just saw. So.
What also we didn't talk about this, but what also sucks about losing this game is this is an AFC loss. It's also a divisional loss, so it's also has tiebreaker implications if you do have like the same record as, let's say, like the Bengals, like a team like the Bengals. If you have the same record as them at the end of it for the 1 seed, however unrealistic this is.
That was
Well, I had to throw that out there because they don't play them this year, right? So you can't go to the head-to-head tiebreaker, so you have to go to the AFC tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to be important to beat the Bills and the Ravens now at this point with now having the loss. Now, one of the Bills or the Ravens will have a loss at the end of Sunday. Nevertheless, you got to beat the team that has the win in that regard. So it makes it a lot harder for the 1 seed now with an AFC loss and tiebreaker implications. I know it's game 1, right? Like there's still so much football to play, but again, like that's like a part of the implications of this game.
These are the games that the Chiefs don't lose when they get the 1 seed most of the time.
Correct.
So there's that. So we'll see how this thing goes. That's going to do it for this episode of the KCSN post game show. We will be on to Philadelphia and Arrowhead Stadium. Thanks to our friends at Ben Holiday Bottled and Bond Bourbon. We always appreciate them, and we appreciate you. Thank you all so much for listening, watching, supporting. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll catch you later.
Go sign Jadeveon Clowney?